They said that to start with, 75,000 vehicles will use it, and this will go to 1.5 lakh. It's been 10 years. The Bandra Worli Sea Link at best has gone to 35,000 or 40,000 vehicles, never reached even 50% of what was projected. When they made the Trans Harbour Link, which was named Atal Setu, they said it will take 1,25,000 cars. Till today, it's been several months. They have not exceeded 20,000 cars or 25,000. And on a best day, it could be maybe 26, 27, but average doesn't go beyond 23, 24,000 cars in a day. They made the coastal road and they said 75,000 cars will go. At best, 25 to 30,000 cars go. So all these numbers, there are fictitious numbers in order to justify the costs incurred, and which they do, and we are all used to these fictitious numbers. I'm an expert, I'm not a politician.
Yes, so I duly take note of your point while you say that these numbers could be fictitious, but I would just want to understand that
Let me complete first, because
definitely.
In your intro you said that the ones who edit or write the intro really need a bit of homework. You said that the traffic congestion would be reduced. I'm sorry, the first phase will not reduce traffic congestion because, coming from...
we said that these numbers are according to the calculations of MMRDA. And I told that these are according to what they have posted. While you call these calculations fictitious, I just want to understand that is there a positive side to Metro Line 3 being built in the city? Because I'm sure it's going to...
Of course, Metro Line...
So if you could shed light on the positive side of Metro Line 3, I would want to understand that.
Metro Line 3 was a much required thing for this city. It is for people like me who have the wherewithal, who have the money, who can spend the money to go from one place to other in comfort. And but that population like me constitute maybe 5% or 6% of the population. The present line which has been inaugurated, you rightly pointed out, would cost 50 rupees. But when it gets extended, this ends at BKC as of now. Between Aarey and BKC, there are very few people who would go from BKC towards Aarey as of now. When it gets extended towards Colaba, towards South Mumbai, then we expect a lot of people to use it, and it has to be completed. That will be useful, but still, it would not really result in decongesting the city, but it will be an additional amenity or facility for those of us, because from Colaba going all the way to Aarey would cost, say, 100 rupees or so one way. So if a family of 4 people spends 200 rupees per person, then we are talking of 800 rupees per family per day if they use the metro, which means a good 25,000-30,000 rupees a month on the metro. And someone who can spend 20 or 25,000 rupees per month on a metro should be a person in a higher income group like me or other people, wherein we can really afford to use that. And there are very few such people who can afford that kind of thing. So it is a good amenity for the upper middle class to travel in comfort, and they need not get into the crowded trains as they do now. They can go safely from one place to another in good air-conditioned comfort in a metro line, and be proud that it's an underground, it's an engineering marvel. It's a good thing. I have been promoting it all the time. But the claims that MMRDA does to justify this kind of money Those claims are totally untrue.
Okay, so while I duly note the fact that you have called these claims untrue, but you also believe in the fact that this is perhaps an additional convenience, it's going to help the citizens of Mumbai travel easily. Now, my second question to you is
of a particular economic capacity. A person
right?
who earns say 50,000 or more can individually afford to travel in a metro. A family which has an income of 1 lakh or lakh and a half plus, the entire family can use the metro.
Right, and you also said that this is going to cater to 5 to 6%.
7 million people travel in the local trains. This is not going to substitute the local trains. This is not going to make any difference to their life because they would not be able to afford it. And however, while saying that, should this have been there? Of course, it's an additional facility to the city. But like the existing metro from, say, Andheri to Dahisar one way and from Dahisar to Andheri another way, which has started. Before they started, they said that will also take 10 lakh people per day. It has not crossed 1 lakh people still. And they said it will take away the traffic congestion in those areas, that is Andheri to Dahisar. The traffic, in fact, has increased. So nobody who owns a vehicle leaves his vehicle at Andheri and goes by metro and then comes back to Andheri and takes. So this is not a substitute to the vehicle traffic congestion in any way whatsoever. It's people like us who teach transportation subject and urban development who understand this. But for organizations like MMRDA, one of the jobs in an election year is to make these kind of tall claims. So I don't grudge them this, but I have to set the record straight, because as an expert, what my students expect, what my peers expect, and what is expected out of me is the truth. And the truth is that these are tall claims.
I completely appreciate that, sir. My second question to you is that, and it is in fact on the point that you just mentioned, delay in completion of these projects is not new. In case of Metro Line 3, it was initially planned to be completed in June 2021, but that stretched till October 2024. Narendra Modi in his speech today blamed Mahavikas Aghadi for the delay in the development in Maharashtra. He also said that the Mumbai Metro project cost escalated by 14,000 crore due to hurdles put up by Mahavikas Aghadi regime. Why does this happen, and what can be done to prevent such delays in the future?
Oh, number one, why was this metro delayed? The metro was delayed because the car shed was made in a forest area in Aarey, and there was substantial amount of resistance from environmentalists and people in general against that. So because there was pressure on the government, so government was thinking whether it should be located on an alternate site like Kanjurmarg. And if it would have been located on an alternate site like Kanjurmarg, the forests of Aarey, which houses 75 leopards, would have been saved. Now, I don't want to comment on political statements made by Prime Minister or the politicians of various things, because that is not for me to comment. The people have judged them in the past, and people will judge them now, and people will judge them in the future, because by and large, the politicians are in the business of spreading lies, rumors, false narratives. I'm not on those kind of things. I'm on factual position. The factual position is that if we could have done the metro by saving the Aarey, we would have been very happy, even if it means extension of a little bit of time. It doesn't matter. Our forests need to be saved. Our wildlife needs to be saved. Anyway, that got into political thing because the Kanjurmarg, which was suggested as an alternative, belonged to the central government, and central government did not give that land. So the earlier government will blame the central government for not giving that land, and because that land was not given, the prices have increased. So they will continue to argue against each other. One will say because of you it was delayed and that's why the increase. Now I'll take the coastal road. Nobody opposed it. There was no change. The price increased by 7,000 crores. And that happened now, 1.5 years ago. Why did it increase? The common man is not a fool not to see through this. There is rampant corruption in giving all these tenders. And it is because of this corruption that the prices increase. It has nothing to do with one political system or the other. These politicians, they need excuse to increase the prices so that they get a cut into the money that they pay to the contractor. That is the real truth. It's unfortunate, but that is the truth. Now, one political party is good or the other. That's not for me to comment. I'm not on that, and I'm not an expert in politics. I'm an expert in urban development. The price, the rate increase and the delay was for good reasons, because the public went on a hunger strike to save the forests, and I feel that the forest saving was important. And if at that time the central government would have given the Kanjurmarg land, which it deliberately did not give, the delay would not have been done. So all politicians are the same. They are all equally to be blamed. And they are making a fool out of the electorate time and again.
Right.
So why did the price of the coastal road increase when nobody had put any obstacles to it? And suddenly it has increased in the last 1 year. So what would the Prime Minister, how would he justify those 5,000 or 6,000 crores increase in the coastal road? So he can blame the earlier government for that. So they are all of the same this thing. There was no need for increase in the coastal road prices. It could have been controlled. But these are way beyond an expert's thing. I can't comment on the corruption. And that is what results in the increase of prices.
Right. Thank you for that answer, sir. Now, you said that you are an expert at urban development, and I would like to ask you something on those lines. Mumbai is known for its congestion. There are so many people traveling on a daily basis. What do you think if Metro Line 3, projects like Metro Line 3 and the Coastal Road, they're all aimed at reducing traffic congestion on the roads? What other projects or what kind of projects do you think can come and be a part of Mumbai's urban development to reduce traffic congestion according to you? That will also be sustainable.
How many vehicles are there in Mumbai to reduce traffic congestion? 7 lakh vehicles, 4-wheelers. Now, what is the population of Mumbai? 1 crore 20 lakh people. What is the average occupancy of vehicle? Is 1.2 sometimes, and sometimes even less, because a vehicle with a driver goes with a child to drop the child at the school and comes back empty, goes empty to pick up the child and comes back. So at best it serves 8 to 10 lakh people. That is not even 10% of the population. Now, a scheme which serves 10% of the population, how would that decongest the city? So, yes, I stay at Worli, and the coastal road would have takes me to Nariman Point within 10 minutes. Earlier, I would have spent half an hour to do. So my 20 minutes are reduced. I'm extremely happy that the coastal road is there, because I have 2 cars. My children travel in car. My whole family has cars for themselves. We can reach our place of work early. But does that reduce the traffic congestion? Sorry. Otherwise, because there was traffic congestion, I may not be taking the vehicle. I would have taken an Ola or an Uber. But now, because I can go faster to the island, to Nariman Point, and come back faster, I'm tempted to take my vehicle there. So what happens is more people are tempted to come by their vehicle because the commuting time is reduced. And what happens in Nariman Point is that there is traffic congestion. So at the entry point of the coastal road and an exit point, there is a traffic congestion which takes 10 to 15 minutes. So my total time taken is practically the same. I only am satisfied that I have gone from Worli on to Churchgate within 10 minutes, but to reach my destination after coming out of the road,
Right,
it takes
sir.
10 to 15 minutes. So traffic congestion, curing traffic congestion by creating the coastal road or this thing is a kind of a myth. It's an advantage to people like us who have multiple cars. Some of our time is saved, but we are not the city.
Understood,
The
sir.
city,
You have...
the city is the 7 million people who travel in the local trains, and 65 accidents happen per day, resulting on an average 20 deaths every day. And no one is paying attention. Instead of spending so much money on these flamboyant schemes for people like me who have the wherewithal, if 10,000 crores or 20,000 crores would have been spent on the local network, making it less congestion and ensuring that people who get thrown out of the local trains and die as a result of overcrowded
So that is
trains.
exactly what I want to ask you when you say you have very clearly highlighted the problems right now. But I want to ask you that how exactly do we strengthen the local network? There are accidents that happen. Tracks get flooded. You've mentioned them, but what are those kind of projects that we can look forward to?
Yes, the Planning Commission, which now is called Niti Aayog, had conducted a complete study on this, and they found that if 30,000 crores could be spent, the entire local line, that is from Churchgate up to Virar on one side, from VT up to Kalyan and Karzat on the other side, and from VT up to Panvel and from Panvel to Karzat on the third side. So the harbour line, the Central Railway and the Western Railway, all the services could be doubled by creating a two-tier, one on the road and one elevated railway line, so that the existing railway services could be made better, more efficient, and nobody, maybe everybody may not get a seat to sit, but nobody will be thrown out because it's overcrowded. And money was given for that. The study was complete and the work was to start. But then the lobby of contractors who want to do the metro and other things lobbied against it, because the tenders for the railways would go to Delhi and the local people won't have any say or a cut into that, and that scheme was shelved. That scheme would have really made the life of Mumbaikars a bit more easier. And that scheme was approved by central government and money was sanctioned for that, but that took a back seat. And all this network of metros. I'm not against network of metros. Metros are important also. But
right, sir.
When you have 1 crore 20 lakh population, and so say you have 1 lakh crores to spend, out of that 1 crore 20 lakh, 70 lakh people go in trains, 20 to 30 lakh go in public buses. Now, my priority should be that from that money, most money go towards amenities which take care of the problems of these 80-90 lakhs of people.
Right, sir. But I'm afraid that that's all the time we had for this edition.
The money goes towards benefit for people like me, who are slightly better off, the upper middle class,
right,
and the poor remain totally at lurch because they do not have the wherewithal to explain. As an expert, unless we stop the deaths in the trains, unless we make our bus system more sustainable, all these flamboyant schemes will go a bit of way for 2, 3, 5% or 10% of the population, which includes me. I'm a beneficiary, so I have no reason to complain.
Right, sir.
That doesn't solve the city's problem. And to say that solves the city's problem is cheating the poor people of
Right,
the city.
sir. Right, sir. But I'm afraid that we're running out of time. Thank you so much for being so honest and candid with us. Thank you for joining us, sir, today.
I'm an expert in urban development, and what you will get from me is an honest and expert opinion.
We appreciate that, sir. Totally. Thank you so much.
It's nothing to do with political views of people.
Definitely. Duly noted, sir.